everybody, my name is V. I'm a fashion designer based in Delta State. Okay, today's tutorial is going to be on how to draft a basic skirt. In our last tutorial, I taught you how to take measurement of a skirt, alright? I told you that you take from the waist to your hip, from the waist to the length of the skirt, then you take your waist round, that's circumference of your waist, circumference of your hip, and the length of the skirt, alright? So today we'll be practicalizing that. Here on my table, I have my marker, my scissors, my measurement tape, the book I use in writing my measurement, that's my measurement book, my ruler, and my pattern paper. If you look at my pattern paper carefully, you see that I've made some markings on it, alright? I hope you can see it carefully. I've made some markings on it. So this is my waist, this is my waist to hip, and this is my waist to the length of the skirt, and this is my allowance for hemming. Of course, you have to hem the skirt after cutting. I always add allowance to my drafted paper, that's my pattern paper, because I might forget while I'm cutting the fabric, alright? So let's go right into the tutorial. Okay, so the measurement for today is, this is the measurement for my skirt. We have the waist circumference is 30 inches, the hip circumference 40 inches, and the length of the skirt is 20 inches. Okay, now if you check the skirts in your house, you will notice that it has a front panel and a back panel. What do I mean? The front of the skirt and the back of your skirt, alright? So this is the front panel and this is the back panel. Don't worry, I will teach you how to draft it, how I got here. I will be explaining everything to you. Okay, so now let's go. Now from the waist, let's do the front panel first, in order not to get too confused. Now from the waist to my hip is 8 inches. I left 2 inches. I subtracted 2 inches from the top. Why? Most of us, our skirts have band, so the 2 inches is for the band, alright? So I separated 2 inches. From the waist to my hip is 8 inches, and from the waist to the length of my skirt is 20 inches. Then I added 2 inches for hemming allowance. Now, I want to explain something to you. Please listen carefully, especially for beginners, alright? So the waist will be divided by 4, the hip will be divided by 4, in drafting the skirt. Okay, why is it divided by 4? Now if you look at it, this is the front panel of the skirt and this is the back panel of the skirt, all right? So you cannot draft like this. You have to fold the fabric or the pattern paper into 2 to draft. So we have 2 for the front and 2 for the back, all right? So when you count all of them together, so we have 1 2 3 4, all right? So that is why the waist circumference and the hip circumference is always divided by 4. So let's continue now. My waist is 30 inches, alright? So 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. Okay? 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. So this is my 7.5. I hope you can see it carefully. This is my 7.5. Alright? So I will add 2 inches. Okay, I'll add 2 inches. So I add 7.5 plus 2 inches. All right, the circumference of my hip is 40 inches divided by 4 is 10. All right, so this is 10 and I added 2 inches allowance. Okay, I hope you can see it carefully. This is 7.5 plus 2 inches allowance. Then circumference of my hip is 40 divided by 4 is 10. So this is 10 plus 2 inches allowance, alright? Then at the hem of the skirt, you take the same measurement, okay? So you take the same thing you took here. 10 inches plus 2 inches allowance. 10 inches plus 2 inches allowance, alright? Let me explain something quickly. If it's a pencil skirt, those skirts that are tight from up to down, you don't take the same measurement on the hip, on the hem. No, you go in by 1 inch. So for example, if we took 10 inches here, you're going to take 9 inches here plus 2 inches allowance. Okay, alright, just to make it shapy. But this is just a straight simple skirt, so we're taking the same measurement for the hip, for the hem. All right, so after taking this measurement, you connect them together, connect them together, connect them together. All right, all right. If you have a pant curve, it's a hip curve, sorry, it's okay, but I'm using my ruler. So what I just did, I connected from the waist to the, okay, sorry, you connect them together. All right, that is what I did. Okay, so this is it. So you connect from the waist. Please ignore this line. All right, it's a mistake. You connect from the waist to the hip, and from the hip to what? The down. All right, so if it's a pencil skirt, you connect from here straight to this point. Okay, the pencil skirt, you connect from here straight to this 1 inch in. For since it's straight skirt, we are connecting from here straight to this place. So after connecting, you cut. It's as simple as that. You cut. All right, make sure nowhere is sharp. Blend it. Don't want any sharp edge. Okay, so this is the waist, this is the hip, and this is the what? Hemline. So now let's go for the back panel. So drag the back panel is very easy. You just take your front panel, put it on top of your pattern paper, leaving allowance for the zipper. Look at my zipper allowance. I've already ruled it out. This place I ruled out is my zipper allowance. Let's see how many inches I took for the zipper allowance. 1.5. So I took 1.5 inches straight down, ruled it, and wrote zipper allowance on it. So what do? You just carry the front panel, put it on the back panel, put it on the back panel. All right, so you can see front panel, put it on the back panel. Very careful. If you're a beginner, do it slowly, then you cut. All right, okay, make sure you pin. All right, make sure you pin it down when you are cutting in order not to make mistakes. Nobody's above mistakes, but make sure you pin it down. All right, so we have the front panel and the back panel. Then you simply divide the back panel into two. Right, I've already done that. That's why you are saying that the back panel is in 2 pieces. Okay, simply divide the back panel into 2 equal parts from here, from the edge. Just divide it from here into 2. All right, so by the time you join, by the time you sew the zipper allowance together, it will now be the same with the front panel. So let's arrange it so that you understand it better. All right, so by the time you sew the zipper allowance together, it will now be the same for the back panel. All right, good. So this is it. So this is the back panel, the front panel, sorry, folded into 2, 1, 2, and this is the back panel folded into 2, 1, 2, making it 4. All right, so now you understand why we always divide the waist measurement by 4, the hip measurement by 4. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so this is the front panel of the skirt, and this is the back panel of the skirt. So we have finished drafting the skirt. It's as simple as ABC. Okay, so let's summarize what we did. I said you take the measurement of your waist, your hip, then the length of your gown. Then you divide your waist by 4, divide your hip by 4, and at the hem of the skirt, you take the same measurement you took on the hip at the bottom, and you join them together, then cut. Then after cutting the front, you place it on the back panel like this, leaving When you want to fold for the back panel, add extra 1.5 or 2 inches, leaving that as the zipper allowance. It's as simple as that. So you get your fabric, put this one on top and cut it out. Then you put this one on top and cut it out, and you have both your front and back panel. So that is how to draft a simple basic skirt. I've come to the end of the tutorial. Please, if you like my video, if you learned something from inside, kindly subscribe to my channel. For my old subscribers, thank you and God bless you. And if you have not subscribed, please kindly subscribe. I see you in my next video. Bye.